Well, health, happiness, and hot women. I don't think anybody could disagree with that. And I think Vercetti has designed the Love Systems Christmas card for next year. More serious note, he talks about taking everything in small chunks. And that's really important both for inner game and I think for love systems altogether. One thing that I really recommend to guys is you keep some kind of a journal. Whether you start a little private blog or whether there's a whole section for journals on the attraction forums, and it's free. You can just host it there. But somewhere where you can sort of write down what's going on, not your feelings about everything, but okay, I went out tonight, I tried this and this worked, this didn't work so well, for a couple of reasons. Number one, just the act of forcing yourself to write this stuff out. You're going to learn just from doing that. I mean, that's where 90% of the value comes, is just thinking through and reliving some of these experiences in a kind of analytical way. So, if you're talking about, okay, well, I said this to her and then she left, well, your subconscious is going to start to think, well, why did she leave? What could I have said differently? And that's where you'll push your head or push your thought process a little bit further along and be better the next time out. Another one is that succeeding with beautiful women or becoming better with beautiful women, it's not one of those straight line processes where every day you get a little bit better than the day before. Every day you might put in a little bit more work, but the way it actually tends to go is sort of kind of flat, maybe gradually rising, big step up, kind of flat, big step up. And then it's a step function. And that's, you'll hear this from advanced students or from love systems instructors talking about their progression and how they got good. And everybody's has had that moment, at a bar or a club or just talking to beautiful women on the street or whatever, where, the common phrase like everything became clear or everything slowed down. I mean, that's a big one, when the game kind of slows down and you're, instead of just reacting to it, like it's a video game with, everybody firing different shots at you from different directions. What do I do now? But where it slows down and you're the protagonist, you're the one that's driving things forward, things have slowed down enough that you can get there. It's hard to stay motivated through those flat periods if you can't see where you've come from and if you can't see all the progress that you've made. I remember at a one-on-one client 3 or 4 years ago now, actually. Great guy. It wasn't all that great with women. We spent a couple of days together. Really got a lot better. I mean, it was a pretty intense time. Left with fistfuls of phone numbers, and I didn't quite take a girl home the second night, but he really should have. A couple very solvable mistakes. And we all stay in touch with, if anybody has taken a boot camp or come to the super conference or taken a one-on-one, you get free lifetime membership to the lounge. And that's a private community of successful graduates of Love Systems live training programs and instructors. And that's where, a lot of our new ideas come from discussions that come there. But that's also where you get, for the rest of your life, basically, you can ask questions and get them answered or learn from other people's experiences. Well, this guy left me a message there, and it got a little convoluted, so I just gave him a call to follow up. This a few months later, and he was talking about, there's this big problem I have, this stuff isn't quite working the way I wanted it to, I'm not getting what I needed. And I thought, oh crap, I thought we did a good job, but, if it's not working, we're going to have him back and fix this. I mean, we don't leave anybody behind. Turns out what his problem was that his beautiful new girlfriend, he did send me a picture of her, she was game with the idea that he was going to have a threesome with her and her best friend, but her best friend wasn't down with it. And that's like his big crisis at this point on how things, weren't working. And he felt like, he just sort of started out because, he was feeling this kind of failure. But, when you started to think about it, like, wow, 3 months ago, he didn't have a girlfriend. 3 months ago, he wasn't even approaching, successfully. He wasn't getting dates with attractive women. And now he's got this beautiful girlfriend that's, open to having a threesome with him. It's just, her friend doesn't want to, which is a solvable problem most of the time anyway. But that's another story. Point being, keeping a journal really helps with, your ongoing motivation, but take it just day by day. I mean, one thing that's interesting is that pretty much every culture in the world has an expression or has a proverb that kind of sums that up. And it's a Chinese proverb that I think I'm probably brutally mistranslating it, but a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. In German, it's aller Anfang ist schwer. Every beginning is difficult. It's common to humanity and to human psychology that it's taking the first few steps are the hardest parts, and once you get going, your momentum will often take you to where it is that you want to go.